The following is a presentation of TNT Sports.
Tonight, the NBA's second season begins. 1 year ago, Michael and the Bulls lived out a dream season. They enter the playoffs as the league's most dominant force. The first challenge comes from Kevin Loughery's Miami Heat, making their first postseason appearance. In Cleveland, the return of Mark Priceman, a return to the league's upper echelon for the Cavs. They face a first-round meeting with the Nets, who sport a few cavalier attitudes, but Bill Fitch has survived a turbulent campaign in Jersey. For Pat Riley and the Knicks, an Atlantic Division title slipped away in the final week, and as a result, round one brings a stern test from Detroit. The Pistons, with the NBA's best rebounder in Dennis Rodman, will have to overcome New York's home court advantage to advance. On to the Western Conference, the mailman, as dependable as ever, led Utah to the Midwest crown. No team in the league is better at home than the Jazz. Their first hurdle, the Clippers. Larry Brown and Danny Manning teamed up for a collegiate title. Can they pull a first-round upset? Up the California coast to the Bay Area, where Golden State's high-octane offense, featuring Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway, will square off against Pacific Division rival Seattle. Few clubs were as sharp as the Sonics in the season's second half. Out of the desert come the Suns and the brilliant backcourt tandem of Kevin Johnson and Jeff Hornacek. Phoenix, the first-round envy of the West, drawing the banged-up Spurs in the first round. With the Admiral at the helm, without him at the helm, things aren't exactly ship-shape in San Antonio. Tonight, we tip it off with a doubleheader on TNT. First stop, Boston Garden, for a rematch of last year's first round, Celtics and Pacers. The question, will Larry Bird be back? Without him, the Celtics still reeled off 8 straight to end the season and win the Atlantic. The question for Indiana, can the Rifleman and his mates pull off the upset this time around after losing in the full 5 last year? And in our nightcap, it's on to Portland and another rematch. Clyde Drexler and the Blazers lost the conference finals to the Lakers in '91. In '92, LA made the playoff field on the season's final day.
Great stop, 16-footer.
It's the drive to the trophy, and we crank it up tonight on TNT. For 16 teams, this is when the season really begins. Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Welcome to the NBA playoffs on TNT. Tonight, we bring you the first of 8 doubleheaders over the next 9 nights. The Pacers and Celtics in just a few moments, followed by the Lakers and Blazers. And as the night goes on, we'll keep you up to speed on the other 2 series that tip off tonight, the Nets and Cavs and the Sonics and Warriors. Plenty of off-the-court news tonight. Let's start in Phoenix, where there's a changing of the guard. Cotton Fitzsimmons will step down after the playoffs, move to the front office full-time. And his assistant coach for the past 4 years, Paul Westphal, gets the head coaching job.
And I am ready to step aside and turn it over to who I think the guy for the 90s with the Phoenix Suns, the most creative guy I have been around. I'd love to have coached him. You know, instead of just having to put up with him as assistant coach, I'd love to have coached him because he's got a lot of tricks in that bag of his, and he hadn't pulled them all out yet.
I would wish for anybody listening to me that they could have somebody as good as Cotton Fitzsimmons to associate with in their professional life or in their life in general.
While Westphal's in Phoenix, Westhead is out in Denver. The Nuggets fired Paul Westhead today after 2 seasons. The run and gun got him 20 wins last year. They slowed it down and won 24 this season. Coaching change in Milwaukee, too. Frank Hamlin moves from the bench to basketball operations with the Bucks. They were 23-42 after Hamlin took over for Del Harris in December. And the league's referees are in the news tonight, too. Fred Slaughter, the agent for the referees union, has notified the NBA that the refs are contemplating a work stoppage during the playoffs. Their contract with the league expires on September 1st. But right now, Jake O'Donnell, Bernie Fryer, and Eddie Middleton are working game 1 of the Nets-Cavs series at Richfield Coliseum as we hit the scoreboard. The Cavs playing at home with a 7-point lead as they play in the first period. At halftime, we'll have updates and highlights. And Sixers head coach Jim Lynam joins us here in the studio for the next couple of nights. Right now, settle back for a playoff double dip. Pacers, Celtics, Lakers, Blazers on TNT.
Neil from the Boston Gardens as we begin 1992 NBA playoff coverage. The Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics. The Celtics made an 8-0 run at the end of the year to catch New York and win the Atlantic Division, thereby avoiding Detroit in the first round. However, the bad news is they get Indiana. Last year, Indiana, 7th seeded this year, took Boston to 5 games in the playoffs. They split this year, both teams winning at home. Now for Boston, Hubie, there's a big question, and that's about the injuries. D. Brown is ill. He has sinusitis and viral infection. He will not play tonight, is day-to-day. And Larry Bird worked out earlier today. He will not be able to go tonight. Larry Bird is out. And there are people, talk about fickle fate. There are people already around Boston going, this team won 8 in a row down the stretch without Larry. Are they better without Larry Legend?
That's a great question. If he was ready to play tonight, he'd be in the starting lineup. They need his 20 points. He leads the team in rebounding as well as assists. And we all know in the last 15 seconds, everyone in America knows that he will either create, score, or hand off to somebody else. So I think they need him.
I think you're right. And Bob Hill found an interesting thing that's worked well for him due to their injuries when Rick Smits went out. He, by the way, should play tonight. And that is that Bob Hill found a small lineup with the Pacers that he likes.
Yeah, he likes because it gives them overall better team defense. George McLeod at the small forward position. Person now is forced to rebound against the bigger people, but he causes a problem at the offensive floor. Your big people must go out and get him. Also, this group with McLeod, Miller, and Person, these 3 guys are great outside three-point shooters, and it will cause problems in transition.
I love the matchups at the guards tonight. Talk about the significance.
Well, you know, the one which last year made this a great series, Michael Williams destroyed D. Brown and Shaw. Off the dribble, broke the defenses down. This year, Bagley and Douglas. The big question, can they contain him? And also, the 2 shooting guards, Miller as well as Lewis, must stay out of foul trouble. Both teams need their heavy production at the end of the game. Chris Ford said to us, though, my #1 priority defensively tonight is who is going to play Deadlift Shrimp when my big guys are in the game.
One of the best 6-man, maybe the best, and certainly his versatility is a problem for anybody. This series should be one of the very best in the beginning of the playoffs, particularly if it's nearly as good Shots on TNT and the NBA playoffs of 92 are fired here in Boston. Here are the Jeep Eagles starting lineups and the players in white there. McLeod, Lewis, Miller, Gamble. Interesting matchups.
Right. McLeod, even though he's playing small forward, will match up with Reggie Lewis. They want to keep Miller out of foul trouble. Miller will move up front, and it's going to be interesting to see if Gamble will take him into the post.
Ready to get underway from Boston Garden. The Boston Celtics, winners of the Atlantic Division. Robert Parrish, the oldest player in the NBA at 38, jumping center with LaSalle Thompson. Starting for Indiana, and the Pacers control. Here is Michael Williams, the single big problem for Boston, although they'll have some other difficulties too. Inside turnover. It was not a turnover, tipped out of bounds by Kevin Gamble with 17 on the shot clock. It'll be Indiana ball.
Well, Indiana runs a very sound passing game. There's a lot of quick movement of the basketball to the opposite side of the floor. Plus, remember, big 3-point shooting team.
Beautiful pass, Chuck Person down inside to Reggie Miller, 2-0 Indiana.
At this end of the floor, right now, Indiana is concerned about the pick and roll situation as well as the post-ups. That's the emphasis of the Boston offense.
Gamble backing in. He gets his jumper to fall over Miller.
See, that's what I liked at the beginning. You must make them pay. Take a guard down inside, post them up as much as possible.
Indiana, very high-octane offensive team. Another inside pass from Miller, down from Thompson down to Miller, and it's 4-2.
Reggie Miller, one of the toughest covers in this league because he has incredible stamina. He's always moving. Plus, once he gets down inside, very good with either hand.
John Bagley to Reggie Lewis.
At this end of the floor, the Celtics are more half-court oriented. They run plays every time down the floor.
Robert Parrish with a jump hook on the baseline, and Parrish really hurt the Pacers in the playoffs last year.
Well, he'll shoot over Thompson all night long. See, Bagley's just got to keep Michael Williams out of the middle.
From the baseline, First Indiana miss. Boston on the run. Bagley has Lewis and Pinckney. Missed the pass.
Excellent defense by George McLeod that time.
And McLeod gets it back from Williams. Count the basket. Call the foul.
Good defense in transition, and it allowed Person to come and deflect that ball, and off they go the other end. And we said that Chris Ford, our man in the picture right there, he knows that he must stop them in transition. Not only do they finish, because as the game wears on and you get tired, they kick out wide and will shoot the threes off of a fast break.
George McLeod, newly discovered success. He got into that starting lineup.
Half-court trap right here, a 1-2-2 half-court trap.
Lewis shoots over the defender, and Boston's down 1.
You can see all of their movement. They're constantly cutting from the opposite side of the floor. There it is.
That's goaltending. Count the basket. Give it to Chuck Person.
See, this is a game where when you run the passing game and you are away from the ball on the other side of the lane, you must be prepared to either be screened or your man cutting even without a screen.
Indiana 4 out of 5 from the floor early in this ball game.
Plus
10 seconds for Boston to shoot.
And everything below the foul line.
Exactly. Going to get a high percentage down there. 5 seconds to shoot, 4, and we've got a jump ball with 3 on the shot clock.
What we're going to see during this game by Indiana, they will double team Reggie Lewis and Kevin McHale every time they put the ball down on the floor. But they will change up the direction that the double team will be coming from. Reggie Lewis was definitely surprised that time when the guy came from the top.
Lewis and McLeod. New shot clock. Bagley gets it from Gambling.
See, with this group out on the floor, Bob, Lewis, Parrish, and Gamble must score for you.
Lewis gets into the paint, drains it. Reggie Lewis has 4.
Look out. The people wanted to travel on that one. But how about the quickness, how they got it up?
The rifleman fires off his first long-range shot, and the ball belongs to Boston. Remember the shot by Chuck Person in Game 5 last year toward the end of the game that didn't go. Boston wins by 3 and then advance to the second round.
Nice move.
Bagley on the penetration. And
great.
the steal. Pinckney. Almost stolen by McLeod. Gamble on the fadeaway. Boston has taken the lead 12-9.
See, already they're at the top of the other circle, and this is what we mean. Bagley must keep Williams under control.
Boston has not missed a field goal. Thompson shooting well from 19.
Now Thompson, even though he's a big man, that is a pet shot of his. He can knock that down with a high percentage. Oh, a little muscling going on down in the post there. Look at this. Gamble going to take Miller.
Gamble with the turnaround jumper. Boston's first miss. Rebound Pinckney.
Oh, the Chief just took 4 steps and didn't say, may I? Come on, what's going on?
And the turnaround, he misses on the jumper.
Look at
McLeod out to the lightning fast Michael Williams, who gets the lead.
Now, I don't know if they can keep up this pace, but this is some pace.
Lead back to Indiana, 13-12, 7:57 to go in the first quarter. The openings of the 1992 NBA playoffs here on TNT. Boston, Indiana. Tonight, Lakers, Portland coming up next.
Great steal. Look at this.
Miller lightning fast from Chuck Person.
George McLeod might be the best defender on the Indiana team. And you can see he is causing Reggie Lewis problems every time he puts the ball down on the floor.
3-point lead for Indiana. Shot clock to 10 for Boston. Bagley to Parrish, and Thompson got him with a hold before the entry pass.
You know, and speaking to Bob Hill today, he said that when they broke down the Boston offense, they figure that the high percentage of everything is pick and roll. The second thing that they run the most will be the post-ups naturally of Parrish and McHale.
Gamble from 17 feet. Not this time. Lewis kept it alive. And is rewarded for his efforts after Parrish got him the ball.
Well, they have to clean it up. Indiana must clean up the sloppiness in the backcourt area, but they are famous for turnovers.
Miller is 4 for 4, and his counterpart, Reggie Lewis, 3 out of 3 for Boston. Gamble thought about the 3. Indiana, a great 3-point shooting team. Boston last in 3-point shooting in the league. Pinckney inside, but he traveled. Nope. We've got a timeout on the floor. There was a foul called, and we have a timeout called by the Boston Celtics. Indiana leading by 3. Everybody in America hoped and thought Larry Bird would be back for the playoffs, that is, except Indiana fans, but he's not. We talked to Dave Gavitt of Boston today about the situation with Larry.
He's battling the back again. He got in trouble with it against Indiana back on April 3rd. It's a lot better, Bob. It's better today than it was yesterday, but it's really not symptom-free yet. And so the decision is that it's day-to-day. I think he's very doubtful for Saturday as well, and beyond that, we'll just have to wait and see. He's getting closer, but the playoffs, if they could have waited another week for us, it would have been fine.
Hubie, it's really significant that Dave Gavitt said that Larry Bird may not be able to play Saturday either.
Absolutely, but then again, see, they're being cautious because they feel that they can beat them here in this building. They did beat them twice during the course of the year and hammered them both times by double figures. But this is what you're missing with Larry. I mean, you know, and we always say he takes the pressure off of your guards to make the big plays.
Bagley talked about it today in the press. He said, yes, I'm playing well, but Larry sure does help me make the passes. And the foul on Michael Williams. Excellent defender, leads Indiana in steals. And as you noted on the graphic, to just stay with the Bird issue for one moment, the Celtics have learned they can win without him, but they haven't learned they can win a playoff game. Celtics have never won one without Larry Bird in the lineup during the Larry Bird era.
Now, here's that pick and roll. You see they went under the pick that time.
That was Williams with the steal.
Oh, bad pass.
And the foul on Boston.
Yeah, fortunately, he was fouled that time.
Bagley got the foul. By the way, before we went away for the commercial, Chuck Person was called for the foul against Indiana.
There he is, Mr. Sixth Man. Won it last year. 2 years ago, came in second to Ricky Pierce, and this year it's a battle between Marcelonis, Marley, and Trim.
13 seconds on the shot clock for Indiana, leading 17-14, 6:20 to go. First quarter in the first of our playoff doubleheader tonight. Los Angeles at Portland coming along after this game.
Well, let's see after that timeout if Boston does a better job with these cutters coming from the opposite wing.
Bagley doing a good job playing Michael Williams, then jumps in front of McLeod and plays some defense.
Oh, that was excellent. He definitely disturbed him, and that was a terrible percentage shot. The old story, do not leave your feet, okay, unless you're going to shoot.
Reggie Lewis is 4 out of 4. He hasn't missed tonight. Michael Williams short arms it. Parrish with a rebound. Celtics can take the lead.
Well, the Celtics love to run in this building. They play a different game on the road. So Bob Hill knows, and the entire team has been geared not to let them get out.
The Celtics have the lead 18-17. 10 points for Reggie Lewis. And my pick for Sixth Man of the Year, Detlef Schrempf, comes in just a moment for Indiana. There's a backdoor cut, well defensed by Boston. Parrish out to Gamble.
When you talk to Chris Ford about his club, they wanted a foul at that end of the floor. Chris Ford said that he undercut his guy. He's all over the referee, and he did. He went right underneath him and got a piece of the body.
Bagley, speaking of body, keeping good position on Michael Williams. The rifleman Chuck Person missing. Boston running again with a 3-point lead.
The Celtics definitely have tightened it up, Bob, in the last 3 minutes of play. They have a hand in the face of all of the shooters now.
Gamble open from long range. Not this time. Boston on a 6-0 run.
See, Michael Williams has a good point. He wanted to pass off to Person. He should have been going to the basket.
10 seconds to shoot for Indiana. Boston's defense has really picked up at the end of this NBA season. They're playing tight defense tonight. That foul will be on Gamble.
See, right now, if you're Boston and you stop the initial flow of the transition, and then the first cutter when they go into their passing game, you're in pretty good shape. Because if you notice anything, when Indiana shoots and misses, no one is on the offensive board. Now they've taken McLeod out and they've come in with Schrempf. Now what does this do? This puts Reggie Miller now on Reggie Lewis. Now Reggie Lewis just wore out McLeod in the early going.
Person misses from the free throw line. Bagley gets the miss as Person doesn't hit either one of them.
You know, for such a great shooter, he's only a 67% foul shooter, Bob.
Indiana would probably lead the NBA in free throw shooting percentage if he shot 80%. Boston leads as it is with 8:08. Nice pass inside. There's the double team on Parrish, who finds Pinckney.
That was beautiful. The Chief just took his time. Chief always will exhaust the cutters.
Person drives it inside, kicks it to Michael Williams from 19.
See, that's the guy they need to hit the jumper because he's getting into the foul line area at will. And in last year's series, the 5 games, he was right around that 20-point mark because he kept hitting that jump shot.
Gamble gets into the paint, but he's fouled on the drive.
And we're going to show you right here now a high pick and roll. Now just watch what happens. You see they trapped that pick and roll. Shrimp was late coming to the Chief, but now watch what happens as they rotate. You never rotate up when an offensive player is underneath the basket.
Nice pass from Bagley to Gamble, knocked out of bounds by Indiana. We'll have a new shot clock. That, by the way, was the 4th team foul on Indiana. 3 team fouls against Boston. Celtics with a 3-point lead and the ball.
I tell you, they're really hammering Reggie Miller.
Lewis first miss. Parrish rebound. Hook doesn't go, but Parrish will shoot free throws.
In the early going, I'm very impressed with the screens that are being set by Boston, Bob. They are really knocking people. They're getting a good body on the defender. Now, that is teamwork. The cutter that the screen is for must set that defender up, and they're catching him every time.
Robert Parrish goes to the line for 2 points and 5 rebounds early on. That was the 2nd foul, by the way, against LaSalle Thompson. We talked about Parrish and how well he played against the Pacers last year. 71% field goal percentage.
Well, we know that with his size and the long arms, he can shoot all night long up over the top of George Thompson. And now they've come in with Davis, the rookie out of Clemson. He has the long arms at 6'10", so this will be challenging.
Shrimp is fouled by Pinckney.
What a year Eddie Pinckney has had. You know, the peripheral guys, the guys that have really stepped forward here. Eddie Pinckney, Bagley, Gamble, Fox, Joe Klein. Everyone has stepped in and done an excellent job. But the guy in the foul line, not too many guys in the league have had a better year, Bob.
Look at this, 17-3, 9.6 rebounds, 4 assists a game. And, you know, he's such a strong player. Speaking of 6-man, he's kind of like a Kevin McHale. Having him as a 6-man has nothing to do with whether or not he's good enough to start. As Kevin, who's been playing better and better and feeling better and better, is back in the game. He is wearing the brace on his tender ankle. But practiced today without it.
Now here we come with the full court press. There's your trap. Now they'll try to get into this either at half court or full court every time the Celtics shoot a foul shot.
Bagley misses that one. He'll usually knock down that 17-footer. Miller for 3. Indiana has shot 333 threes this year.
They average 11.5 a game. Now they kick them out there. Now that's the first one that they've launched off the break, but they'll launch many more as this game moves on.
Indiana took the lead by 1. 10 to shoot. Lewis on the drive. That was blocked by Dale Davis with the long arms, as Hubie pointed out. This is a 3 from Gamble. No. Lewis steals the rebound. New shot clock for Boston.
It's great when you got a second guard that can rebound for you, Bob. Reggie Lewis, one of the best second guard rebounders in this league at 5 a game.
Lewis steps in, shoots the line drive. A little flat, doesn't get it. Indiana by 1 with 2:07 to go in the first quarter. Shrimp kicks it to the court.
There it is. See, you must guard Shrimp because he'll take it coast to coast, and then if you don't play him in the lane, he'll score.
Speaking of scoring, Bagley with a beautiful opportunistic drive, and John Bagley has 4 points. Boston back by 1. What a first period. Welcome to the playoffs. Shrimp getting in the paint, kicking to Williams, 10 to shoot. Williams with a beautiful ball fake and got the open shot run down by Shrimp.
You cannot fall asleep when Shrimp's in the game. He's on the offensive board.
McHale with the rebound. Indiana's shooting percentage dropping now. Pacers had shot 70% the first 7 minutes.
But Bob, on all the kickouts, they are wide open. Wide open.
McHale against Davis. Now there's the double team. The up and under. Gets his own rebound. Kevin McHale.
Vintage McHale. Up and under rebound. Here they are.
That's what Indiana does. Before Boston can blink, Reggie Miller has a layup.
Oh, boy. Backcourt foul. And they get Reggie Miller. Williams was just dropped. Michael Williams. Now, I'm hoping that he does not have a Charlie horse. Because as he was backpicked by Kevin McHale, Eddie Rush is explaining to McHale that he moved and he initiated the contact.
Michael Williams wobbled off the floor as though he had been hit by a truck.
Now you're going to see it now right there in the middle. Now just watch as McHale sets the back pick. Boom. See, the left forearm came out and hit him and put him down. Now, is that an acting job? I don't think so, because the one thing that you try to tell the big guys is help the guards. When a big man sets a pick, it hurts.
Boston's biggest lead has been 5. Indiana's was 3. Watch vintage Kevin.
All right, we're just going to show you here. Now watch the double team. Now once the double team comes, Kevin McHale is going to step out, and when the defense moves, he's going to step under. Now this is called the up and under move. Now just watch it. There's his fake. Now he gets his shot blocked, but presence, come up underneath the other way because the defense cannot block that or they'll hit the rim.
Boston by 1. 58 seconds to go, first quarter.
Now Fleming is in a game taking the place of Williams.
Williams looks to be okay on the bench. Trainer looking at him right now. No word on whether he was injured on that bump. Shrimp on the turnaround baseline shot. Good block out McHale. Rebound Gamble.
McHale is really running hard.
The jump hook. Falls for McHale, and he's fouled by Rick Smits.
Is that an indication that he's back? I mean, what? I'm telling you, it's good to see him moving gingerly. He'll never be back the way he was in the old days. But just watch this move. He took the hit and then shot an unorthodox move. He's played so well with his back to the basket. See, he wanted the contact to get the foul. Now, Indiana, though, they feel pretty good, though. They feel like Smits gives McHale trouble. 7'4", long arms.
Such a big man that he doesn't have to move around with McHale. He can just put those big arms up.
I'll tell you, Baggs is doing a pretty good job not allowing him down inside.
Chris Ford said he thought he would do a good job tonight. Shrimp from long range, bumped by Fox.
A little acting on that one. It's a playoff game. You're not going to get any of that slight bumping on a shot tonight, especially when you're on the road. Come on, it's the Boston Gardens.
8 seconds in the quarter. Boston by 2. McHale feeling it. Inside of Smits, he falls. Will go to the line. 2.5 seconds to go in the quarter. 2 fouls on Rick Smits that fast.
Well, you know, you can see, watch the left leg on Smits. See, that's a tendonitis. See, that was a great move by Kevin. The drop step to go behind the backboard. What you try to tell your young players, when the guy drop steps and goes behind the backboard, don't cut him off. Just keep him behind the backboard. Because if he's going to score, he must bring the ball right back out into you.
There you see the ankles we talk about. See the brace on the left ankle specifically. McHale practiced without it today, but certainly during the game he wants that extra protection. Talk about him coming on, 15-7, 6.4 on the board, shooting 55% down inside. Sherman Douglas comes in for Bagley, who gets a round of applause here at the Garden, who started this game very, very well, particularly defensively for Boston.
All right, this is nice, smart basketball.
And Klein knocks it out of bounds.
Do not allow them to throw the uncontested pass the length of the floor and pick out the man. Joe Klein, excellent job. And another good job.
Oh, they're on their feet at the Garden for Klein. Half a second's gone by, and Indiana hasn't been able to inbound.
See, Joe Klein is 7 foot. By Joe Klein jumping, Davis has no room to back up because the camera people are right on the baseline. Now, the way that you negate that is by moving further back. Well, it's hard to do with those camera guys.
Now they're going to try Miller. He has to lob it. It's an alley-oop and intercepted by Boston. Outstanding defense. Indiana can't get anything with 2.5 seconds. The crowd loves the Celtics. They have a 4-point lead after 1 in the first game of the NBA playoffs, 1992. been leading by 4. Kevin McHale came in off the bench and provided a spark. And check this out. This is new at the Garden. The new cheerleaders. Don't tell me about the Laker girls.
That's right. And I'll tell you, the people have responded. No boos and no hissing. You have to like the first period. That Indiana set their tempo. The Celtics matched it, but the Celtics controlled the boards, 14-5 in rebounding.
Celtics by 4. Fox and Douglas, along with Reggie Lewis, McHale, and Joe Klein on the floor for Boston.
See, right now they're going down inside. Clear the side now and let Lewis go versus McLeod.
7 on the shot clock. Lewis in the paint. Reggie Lewis has 12.
I'm disappointed that McLeod is not challenging the shot. He can't worry about fouling out because his position is expendable, Bob. He's got to get up and challenge. Reggie's shooting right over the top of him.
Now, McHale didn't worry about fouling. McLeod will go to the line. First one on Kevin. Second one on Kevin McHale.
See, down the stretch, when the Celtics win 15 out of 16, and then they go 8-0, they have won 17 in a row here at home. During this period of time, they are only giving up, which is incredible, 96 points. And that's getting after people.
McLeod misses at the free throw line. It's been a nightmare for Indiana early. They're 3 out of 6.
And we're talking about the second best free throw shooting team in the league, and they're only behind Boston.
Well, Larry Bird not playing tonight, as you see him in street clothes. Worked out this morning. Not ready with his lower back. May not even play Saturday.
Now this is where Indiana must make some hay. Their second unit is very, very talented. And they've got to compete against McHale and Lewis now. They're the 2 primetime scorers for Boston.
There's that diagonal pass from Kevin McHale. He is so good at getting the ball out of a double team diagonally. This time he hits him for the open jumper. A 7-point Boston lead. Douglas first points of the game. Boston ball.
Yeah, I feel badly for McLeod. Since he's been starting, he's been averaging 15 points, shooting right around 50%. Tonight he just cannot get on track. But long way to go yet, Bob.
Rick Fox on the drive on the baseline. Nice move into the paint. Left hand won't go. Shrimp. Here's what he does best with the rebound, now making the play. Fleming from McLeod.
Beautiful pass. See, with Klein and McHale in there, this is going to put a lot of pressure on the 2 of them to get back because Shrimp and Davis can really change ends.
Sherman Douglas on the drive. High arc over person. Klein is knocked out of there by Davis. Cloud on the break. Knocked out of bounds. Off Indiana Boston ball.
They soft pass. Soft pass. If that was a good crisp pass, they had a layup in a 2-on-1 situation. But give Reggie Lewis credit. Anticipated the pass. Nice deflection.
Boston by 5.
See, they're trying to get Kevin going here versus Davis.
Davis pushes him away, and that foul will be on the youngster from Clemson.
See, no respect right now for Davis. He's a rookie. He's fouled out of a number of games this year, and he is a muscle man. He will take no guff. He's very strong in the upper body. A terrific rebounder, led the ACC in rebounding 3 years in a row at Clemson, and he's come in here and established himself as a good defensive player and not afraid to put his body on you.
He's got his body on McHale right now. Kevin's jump hook. Not this time. Klein's tip. Stripped away. Jump ball. Davis and Klein. You see what Davis brings. Klein's a tough guy.
Watch out. Yeah, well, neither guy will back down, see. But that's okay. Let them, as long as nothing happens, see. As long as they don't throw any punches, let them whoop as much as they want to. But you see, these 2 guys might go after one another.
I don't want to hear those barks. Yeah, some tough talk at the Garden.
Well, you're going to see it. It's over the back here right now. Nice strip by Shrimp. They go down inside. Now they're hustling. Now that's good, strong play. But then naturally by Joe pushing off, it incensed Davis.
Davis with the long arms should win this tip and does. Fleming lost the handle.
See, Fleming has a pinched nerve in his neck. And you can see that he cannot look. He had no idea that they were right there for that trap.
They're applauding Joe Klein for his hustle. He and Davis providing some entertainment. Boston by 5. Ball.
Yeah, I'm loving, if I'm a Celtic fan, I'm loving their offensive rebounding, Bob, because the Celtics are not a good offensive rebounding team. They only average 12 a game, and that's low in the NBA.
Person with 10 on the shot clock for Indiana, Vern Fleming. Height advantage over Sherman Douglas.
See, the Celtics are doing a better job now getting up and
he called it. He called the fake shot.
Come on.
Chuck Person, the rifleman, said, "I'm banking the bullet."
Hey, he was 132 for 354 during the year. 37% he shoot from three-point line.
Boston by 2. McHale goes down. A lot of dribbling by Douglas. Klein from 16. Rebound Dale Davis.
Dale Davis can sky. Long arms.
Trying to post Fleming against the shorter Douglas.
Yeah, I like this move. This is good. He should be able to shoot over him.
He does.
See, Fleming's a primetime scorer. He scored a lot of points here. You know, before Michael Williams came along, he was the starter for many years. And for 6 straight years, Vern shot. He shot over 50%. This is his first year that he has not.
Indiana has tied this game. Lewis is fouled by McLeod. Right after this one, we'll be going out to Portland. Ron Poulin and Doug Collins will have the Lakers and the Blazers. Most people in the league feel like the Blazers have the best chance to beat Chicago, but they've got a long way before they get that opportunity. So do the Bulls. Bulls open tomorrow night against the Heat.
Now, Parrish is in the game right now, and so is Gamble. Fox and Klein both did an outstanding defensive job.
Douglas looking for McHale. He and Shrimp wrapped up.
See, they're really muscling McHale.
Douglas open from 17 from McHale. Doesn't get it to go. Boston's point guards not shooting the ball well from the perimeter. None of them. Shrimp. A near air ball. Out of bounds, Boston ball.
Yeah, but he's disgusted with himself. That was a really open shot. But as this game goes on, that will continue to open up. And in the series, he gets right into that area, and he'll knock that down, or he'll take it the extra step and look for the foul.
D. Brown, by the way, you notice, not playing tonight. We told you about Bird. D. Brown still bothered by the viral infection in the sinuses. McHale finds Parrish. Jump hook. Blocked by Dale Davis.
Shrimp doing yeoman work in there.
Vern Fleming coast to coast. And Indiana has taken the lead. 6 points for Vern Fleming. He hasn't missed tonight. And the Celtics with shooting problems, 2 of 9 in the second quarter.
And this is their tempo. They love it. And on the break, the man is open in that left-hand corner. We're going to show you the problems that Indiana causes in regards to transition. Now, Shrimp comes up the floor, and he is going to either take it all the way, but this time he passes the ball to Fleming. Now, watch what happens as Fleming goes. Keep an eye on Reggie Miller right here to the right of your screen. Now, once Fleming makes this penetration, this has been here all night. You see the pressure is on Bagley to come back in and help, and that is leaving that kick-out pass to the corner. Now, as this game unfolds, we told you at the top, they will continue to force the action, and when you cut it down, it will open up that 3 from the left-hand corner.
Indiana on a 9-0 run the last 5 minutes. They're shooting 80%. Boston only 22% in this quarter. Thus the Indiana 2-point lead. Parrish double team. Can't find anybody.
And
Douglas.
they're double teaming with muscle.
Gamble from 19. Rebound Pinckney. Boston 2 of 10 from the floor. Gamble open for the jumper. He'll knock that one down.
See, they need him. They really need him to have a good night and to have an excellent series.
Shrimp thought about the 3. Steps up for the 18-footer. Rebound Gamble.
Kind of shot that off leaning too far to the right, bud.
Incredible athletic ability and strength on the part of Detlef Shrimp.
Two-man game.
Anywhere on the floor. Parrish with a rebound, and the stick back.
I'm just disappointed in Indiana that they cannot keep the Celtics off the offensive board. It's really hurting them.
That's what's kept Boston in this now with a 2-point lead. Fleming. Shrimp from 17. He's not finding it from there tonight.
I'll tell you what, he's not only missing, he's missing by a wide margin. That shot is nowhere near the middle of that rim.
Gamble defensed.
All right, here's your pick and roll. Smart move. Nice move.
Came up with the ball. New shot clock to McHale. How many?
Look at this.
Opportunities is Boston going to get?
Once again, once they get it down there, time and time again, they get the ball back.
See, when you go small, Person has got to get in there to rebound now. He's got to help out Davis and also Shrimp. Great move. He got fouled. He got pushed.
Scored anyway, and wanted the call, didn't get it.
Well, you know, when you're not shooting the penalty, you'd rather let them make it a non-call. Okay. Hey, I got fouled, but don't call it.
Right. One team foul for Boston, only 2 against Indiana with 4:48 to go in the quarter. 10 to shoot for the Celtics. Parrish on the double team has it stripped away. Vern Fleming did the job.
When you cause the turnover, you've got to make them pay.
There's Miller.
Oh, yes.
Off
like that.
Off the dribble, on the break, nails the 3. Miller is 7 for 7, 16 points.
2 for 2 in threes, and he's getting right to that spot. And that's such a tough cover to be running back defensively and then go out and get him because he'll take it to the hole line.
Now Indiana by 1. McHale shoots it from 15. You know, he's brought back all his arsenal now.
Yes, he has.
But he's feeling better. The up and unders, the turnaround, the jump hook. Shrimp tried to answer off the break.
And Kevin looked good in that defense that time. He really challenged and might have gotten a piece of that shot. People forget, you know, Kevin was on the all-defensive team 6 times during his career. First or second team.
Miller made the steal, then got floored for his efforts, and Gamble burns him with the jumper.
I'll tell you what, Reggie Miller is limping right now. He's on the left side of the floor. He was pushed from behind by Gamble, and he went right into a collision.
Boston by 3, 3:28 to go in the second quarter.
Clear out.
Shrimp, respecting the long arms of McHale, gets it to Fleming. Parrish knocks down Kevin and takes the rebound.
See, right now, Indiana, you can see a fatigue factor setting in and too many outside jump shots, Bob. They are no longer looking for the cutters in the lane, and they're no longer posting people up.
8 rebounds for Robert Parrish in this game. Gamble muscles inside. Doesn't get it to go. Dale Davis.
Didn't you love that move? See, that's smart basketball. Take him in, take advantage of your upper body strength.
Fleming got bumped from Parrish, still laid at him. Boston by 1, and Fleming has 8 points all in this quarter.
See, if Indiana will continue to take them off the dribble, post the Celtics up, keep going to the basket, stop settling for the long jump shots because you are not making them right now.
Boston calls timeout. They want to get Lewis and Bagley back into the ball game. Celtics leading it by 1, 2.5 to go in the first half. While we're on the timeout, Hubie yells across the floor here at the Garden to George Irvine, the assistant coach for Indiana, and says, "George, how is Michael Williams?" And George holds his hands. George there holds his hands out to Hubie and says, "He's coming back in the game."
Yeah,
did you call him back?
No, but all the fans here are going, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing that." And I said, like I have some influence on whether or not he comes in or not.
You win the award for long-distance coaching. Hubie has just put Michael Williams back in the game. He's okay. Remember, he went out when he was just leveled by Kevin McHale.
Now look at that from last year's playoffs. 21 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, and he just continually broke down the defense. And we saw in that first quarter, he was outstanding. That's why you worry about it when you see a guy get popped like that. You're hoping that he does not get a Charlie horse because he's the spark plug, the explosive guy that makes their fast break attack.
Boston with their starting lineup back on the floor now, as is Indiana with the exception of Detlef Shrimp. 3 seconds on the shot clock for Gamble. Tough turnaround jumper.
Oh, he has the field tonight.
Gamble has 12 at the conclusion of tonight's game. Hubie and I will select the Budweiser player of the game. Oh, what a block. That was Ed Pinckney.
Eddie, send that one out of here. Nice move that time by Shrimp. Watch as he evades the defender, but send it out of here, Eddie.
14 on the shot clock.
I'm happy for Pingy because he has really come on and blossomed. He's matured into a terrific, fifth player on that starting unit and a great substitute.
He's all over Shrimp. Williams had to fire up that shot because the shot clock was running down. Great save by Reggie Lewis. What an athlete. To Parrish. There's the double team. Good move. Ball fake from Gamble. Then he takes it to the hole.
Sure. Anytime that they double team and a man is rotating to come at you, when you make your catch, just fake shot and take them off the dribble. Now, Gamble has done that twice and scored today.
Gamble with 14 points.
One-on-one. Nice move, Reggie. That was a nice move. Yes, indeed. He was definitely hit.
And Miller now limping. Let's see if he's all right. We saw him limping earlier when he was knocked down.
Well, it's that same knee. See, in that collision that happened right in front of us at half court. See, Reggie Miller, one of his greatest assets is he gets to the foul line 6+ times a game. Or, in this case, he puts fouls on you and you get into that 5 quickly. Chris Ford is worried about Reggie Lewis getting in foul trouble guarding him.
Shrimp. Now he's on Lewis. Here's the double team. Williams open all alone underneath. They couldn't get him the ball. McLeod for 3.
He needed that. He needed that for his game. Not only does he get a big hoop, he gets a 3, and maybe he'll relax a little bit.
Boston now leads by 2 with 53 seconds to go in the half. Bad pass from Bagley. Excellent hustle from Lewis. Look at this.
Boy, look at this is right. It's amazing how many times they've restolen the ball.
Williams goes to the floor again. Off Parrish, it will be Indiana ball. 35.5 seconds remaining in the half. Foul on Boston with 31 seconds remaining. Coming up at halftime, Prudential halftime report, Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios with 76ers coach Jimmy Lynam. They'll preview tonight's Lakers-Blazers game, which comes up right after this one. Also an update of tonight's early game, New Jersey and Cleveland. That's where Hubie and I will head right after this one. Gamble just picked up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, and it was a tough foul because also when you play Reggie Miller, he's constantly trying to put it down on the floor. Now, he has not had that many chances so far in his first half, but he never panics. He stays within the offense. Gamble, give him his due. Had a great half for the Celtics. Because during the year, if you said to Chris Ford, hey, who's doing it for you? He'd keep coming up with the same names. Gamble, Parrish, and Lewis are carrying us offensively.
Reggie Miller, a quiet 18 points.
A quiet is right.
It is, for him particularly. Reggie Lewis, guarded by McLeod. There's the double team. Beautiful double clutch by Lewis in the paint. He'll go to line with 16.3.
See, McLeod has picked up 2 fouls. 2 fouls now on guys. He has excellent position on them, and just rather than go straight up and pressure the shot, he reaches in. And he doesn't have a good enough reputation yet in order to get away with that. I'm insinuating that there are some guys who can put their hand
can get away with
and maybe touch you a little bit.
Because they're so good on defense.
He doesn't have that rep yet.
Davis will sit down. He came in and gave some good bench time. Chuck Person back in along with Shrimp, Reggie Miller, McLeod, and Michael Williams for the last 16.3 seconds.
This is a small group. Now, Reggie has had some game. Played in the All-Star game this year. Leads the team in minutes. How about the points? And then the steals and the blocks. 2 years ago, he led the league in block shots for a guard. And this year, he came in with 105.
This is at the free throw line. Celtics lead the league in free throw shooting at 8:08. 10 seconds to go in the half. Boston look at one.
Whoa, good
Stripped away by Lewis. And he draws the foul with 3.5 to go. Chuck Person.
Interesting fan right there. They understand Reggie Lewis is having a great night tonight because not only is he scoring for you, he has been so active anytime guys are putting the ball on the floor. And it could happen at the Boston offensive end of the floor. He has deflected and kept things alive for them to force Indiana in backcourt turnovers.
Reggie Lewis, also such a classic Celtic. I mean, people talk about Bird, Parrish, McHale. The guy right now is Reggie Lewis, but he's quiet. He waits his time. His stardom comes.
That's up. You're right on the money on that, Bob.
Nice pass. There it is, the three.
At the buzzer, count it! A three at the buzzer gives Indiana a tie at halftime.
Now,
and it's a fitting end to a tremendous half of basketball.
This is a set play as they exchanged it from out of bounds to out of bounds and then get it back. And if you notice, Reggie in this corner, they cover the two corners anytime that they go in transition. And it's such a difficult task for the defensive team to be flowing back.
It's tied at 53.
Reggie Miller bomb. The Pacers and Celtics tied up at 53 in Game 1 of their Eastern Conference playoff series. Opening night here on TNT. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Prudential halftime report. The other Eastern Conference series beginning tonight in Cleveland. The Cavs lead the Nets 87-81. They are late in the third period. More on that game in just a few minutes. In case you missed the news around the NBA today, Paul Westhead was fired in Denver. In 2 seasons, he posted a record of 44 and 120. Here's GM Bernie Bickerstaff.
We have obviously arrived at a decision in regards to Paul Westhead and his coaching staff status with the Denver Nuggets. Paul will not be retained for the 92-93 season. We feel it is imperative that we move in another direction.
Meantime, in Milwaukee, Frank Hamblin will move from the bench to the front office. The Bucks were 23-42 after Hamblin replaced Del Harris in December. And in Phoenix, Cotton Fitzsimmons says he's going to step down after the playoffs. Assistant Paul Westphal will take over as Cotton remains the director of player personnel. So we got all kind of coaching news here on TNT tonight, and we've got a coach right here in the studio with us, Jimmy Lynam of the Philadelphia 76ers. Tight fraternity you guys are in the coaching profession. You lose a few.
Cotton first, Ernie. I mean, we all knew that this was imminent eventually. I guess what surprised me, I figured Cotton was going to hang into around the year 2000. For it to happen this quickly, yeah, a mild surprise. Frank Hamblin, no. I think he made it pretty evident to people around the league toward the end of the year that he'd like to stay with the organization, but in some capacity other than head coach.
And Paul Westhead?
Tough one for me personally, a close friend. It's tough enough coaching your own team. As evidenced by the fact that I'm sitting here tonight. But in Paul's case, I think there were extenuating circumstances in Denver. You know, Coach, guys talk, guys read papers. We see your name every now and then as maybe in jeopardy. What's the status in Philadelphia? Well, today the owner, Harold Katz, had a news conference after he and I had a series of meetings with some players, and I think he cleared the air. I have a year left on my contract. And I would say, Ernie, that he's been very supportive personally. I feel that during what's been a tough year for all of us. So, yes, I'll be back next year. So, good news. Allow yourself a smile. Let's talk about the playoffs now. Eastern Conference, the Bulls, they're the team. Can anybody stop them? They better come on a freight train. The Bulls, to me, what they've done this year, I think sometimes people don't realize the difficulty of going back out there after dominating the way they did last year. To play as well as they did, they're very, very difficult. Western Conference, Blazers are the top seed, but that's a powerhouse conference. I think people with a shot, but still, I think the Blazers belong on top, and it's going to take a real strong performance by somebody to knock them out. Well, we're going to get a look at the Blazers in Game 2 of our doubleheader here on opening night. It's the Blazers hosting the Lakers, Game 1 of that Western Conference series coming your way after Game 1 of our doubleheader. That makes sense, doesn't it? Doug Collins going to be one of the guys calling that game out there with Ron Thulin. Let's go out for a preview now to Memorial Coliseum. Doug?
Thank you very much, Ernie and Coach Lynam. I'm with Terry Porter, one of the key members of the Portland Trail Blazers, and I guess, Terry, first question is the health of this Portland team as you start the playoffs.
I think our health is pretty good. You know, we let Clyde and Jerome have a couple of days of rest before the playoffs started. Clyde practiced this week, practiced pretty well considering the conditions. You know, he had been off in about 2 or 3 weeks, and Jerome is still some stiffness in his ankle, but you know, he says he feels about 85%, and the rest of it is going to be adrenaline from the playoff start. So I think we, you know, for most parts, we're mentally, everybody's ready, and you know, this is what it's all about.
Well, obviously, this is the time of the season you guys have waited for after the heartbreaking loss to the Lakers in the playoffs last year, and a chance to meet that team again in the first round. People have talked about it's the Bulls against the NBA. What do people out here in Portland feel, specifically the Blazers?
Well, you know, as far as facing the Lakers, you know, a lot of people are saying this is a rematch, but it's not. You know, anybody who's been watching the Lakers know they're really short-handed without Magic and Worthy. But, you know, they got a lot of pride on their team. They got some guys who've definitely been there for a long time, AC, who knows what it takes. And, you know, it's going to be important for them to just, you know, come in here and try to play like the way they did the last time. As far as the Chicago against the NBA, you know, that's going to happen because there's so many times they've won a championship. I think it was very similar the same way when Detroit won it. But, you know, we just want to take our series one game at a time and hopefully get a chance to face Chicago in the finals.
Terry, a real key player for you guys is Kevin Duckworth, and maybe the injuries helped a little bit from the standpoint the last month of the season and specifically the last 10 days. You guys really had to go to him. Have you revitalized him, and is he ready to go for the playoffs?
Doug, I really think he is. You made a great point there by having some injuries and being able to go into him more, get his confidence up a little bit going into the playoffs, and I think he's really ready. I think, you know, his mindset is perfect, and, you know, he's done a great job the last 2 or 3 weeks getting himself ready for the playoffs.
Terry, thanks a lot, and good luck to you, and back to you, EJ, in Atlanta with Coach Lynham.
All right, thank you, Doug Collins and Terry Porter. If you're Mike Dunleavy, Coach, what do you do? How do you stop that team?
Well, I think their problem, Ernie, to be honest with you, is reach further. I think right now there's a risk of being satisfied. The Lakers did a tremendous job just getting into the playoff.
That's game 2 of our doubleheader. We're also going to take a look now at the New Jersey Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. That comes your way when the Prudential Halftime Report continues. Time report continues. Opening night of the NBA playoffs. Ernie Johnson back with you in Atlanta. Let's get you some bonus coverage. The New Jersey Nets and Cleveland Cavaliers playing at Richfield Coliseum. Brad Daugherty, Mark Price, 30 points apiece through 3 quarters. They lead New Jersey. Let's go to Denny Schreiner and Jim Jones live at Richfield.
15 rebounds to go along with 33 points. Make it 34.
That's what you need. You need a center to take you to the dance and keep you in the dance until the rest of the guys can come around.
Arrested Larry Nance will check in at next opportunity. Morris inside with the left again. No chance for that one. Hot rod out to Kerr. Cavs with some numbers this trip. Steve Kerr on the wing to battle. Free jumper.
Oh, that looked good, didn't it?
Now it's 3-on-1 in the other direction. This looks like a passing drill.
Well, that's the way it's done. 3-on-1. Don't forget what got you there. Inside action.
Steve Kerr straight up with it. Elo, offensive rebound, will not good. Craig Elo with an athletic move, but couldn't get it to drop.
Giving the Nets a chance. Perimeter shooting won't get it done.
Petrovic, baseline jumper, and you're right. New Jersey is right back. 28 for Petrovic. Timeout called by the Cavaliers. 9:15 left to go in game number 1 of the opening round of the playoffs. 98-93, the Cavs by 5.
So there is bonus coverage, bonus playoff coverage for that matter. 98-93, the Cleveland Cavaliers playing at home at Richfield Coliseum, leading New Jersey by 5 as they play in the 4th period. What do you think about Brad Daugherty having a huge game there, Coach Lynham? And I know he torched you guys on back-to-back nights at one point for 31 each time. He can really be a force.
One of the problems, Ernie, is you're reluctant to give help because they shoot the ball so well from the perimeter. Mark Price, Elo back now playing. You leave with a big guy. Here comes Nance on the board. They're a very, very well-balanced team.
Just ahead here on TNT, it's the 3rd quarter from Boston Garden, the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics. Remember, we've got another game still to go tonight. Opening night, doubleheader. We got the Portland Trail Blazers playing host to the LA Lakers. And get used to this, after game 2, inside the NBA.
The Celtics and the Pacers tied at 53, and this is our first TNT playoff game of 1992, and Hubie, the playoffs did get underway. It was a frenzy, a beautiful game to watch, and you've got to think that Indiana is in very good shape right here. Schrempf and Person were only 4 of 12 shooting the first half, yet they're tied at 53.
Yeah, as long as Indiana will take care of their defensive board. They've given up 10 in that category. It's really hurt them. Indiana's doing what they do best. 10 points out on the break, 5 for 7 in threes. They're getting open shots. But if you're going to continue to give up second shots, you're in trouble.
Let's take a look at the statistical story of the first half. The 3-point field goals right at the buzzer. Miller, who has 21 at the half, hit one as it ground down to triple zeros.
And Reggie is 3 for 3 right there. And then the rebounding, you see, they're just eating them up right now. The starting front court for Indiana only has 1 rebound each. Now we're going to give you that last play to show you this is a beautifully executed play. As Shrimp steps out of bounds here, he's going to pass the ball over. Now he becomes the dangerous man as he receives the return pass. Now this is a planned play. Because he dribbles so well, he forces Bagley to leave to come in so they get the trap. But once again, that opens up the 3-point shooter wide. Beautifully executed because of the talented play and also because of the fact that Detlef Schrempf can put the ball down on the floor and draw a double team.
We're underway with the second half. Indiana, Miller had 21, 8 of 8. Fleming 8, McLeod 7, and Schrempf 6. For Boston, Lewis led the way with 15, Gamble 14, McHale 9, Parrish 5. Tied at 53, second half from the Garden. Bob Neal with Hubie Brown. The Chief for LaSalle Thompson.
It's not even a threat. He's not a threat because he's just too small. He can't compete with them there or intimidate. They've got to double team earlier.
McLeod, defense by Gamble. Good defensive play by Bagley with 9 on the shot clock. It's Indiana ball.
When you're on the road, Indiana, they're feeling good about themselves. What they cannot do is allow the Celtics to get out here like to an 8 or 10 point lead early.
Person with a quick jump.
Well, it's nice to see him get back in the game. It's only his 3rd field goal.
Tied at 55.
The Celtics are working screens into 2-man play right here on the side.
Pinckney, tough move, missed on the baseline. Boston ball. Fortunate break for the Celtics.
Well, the Celtics, you got to give them credit. They're making things happen. And so far tonight, they've won the battle of all of the loose balls on the floor.
Look at that. Cleveland ahead by 5 late in that ball game. We'll keep you posted on the Cleveland, New Jersey series. Hubie and I will be headed there tomorrow.
Well, Jersey with their rebounding and shot block can give anyone trouble.
Lewis, beautiful quick spin. Oh! It won't go. Thompson with the rebound to the lightning Michael Williams. But Bagley was there again.
Bags has been doing an excellent job once he got accustomed to the pace.
McLeod knocks down a 2. He stepped on the line.
Now he is a great long-range shooter. Played point guard in college at Florida State, and he's had 3 operations which really have limited his production. But now he's healthy and playing with confidence.
Tried to get it to Parrish down against the undersized LaSalle Thompson. Williams was late getting there, and Robert made him pay.
Once again, Robert goes baseline, and he catches you flat-footed.
Miller isolated against Gamble, looking for Thompson, stripped away by Parrish. Good help from Reggie Lewis, but he commits the foul, his first.
Bob, I am really impressed with the great defensive coverage by the Celtics. Now just watch this right here. See, he always catches you because you're thinking that he's going into the lane, or he's going to look for the cutters. He pulls it once a game, usually in the 3rd or 4th quarter.
I remember in 1984 doing a playoff game here. The famous Larry steals the ball game was also the famous game that the Chief leveled Bill Laimbeer.
Oh, my. Yes.
Remember that one. He was interviewed this week and said, "Oh, that wasn't accidental," he said.
See, the big man right here is an 82% foul shooter, Thompson. And we told you that he must be played up at the top of the circle when they're reversing the ball from sideline to side. Now here's a little backcourt pressure. It's man-to-man. It's what we call a run and jump and then go for the trap.
Bagley almost lost the handle on it. Gamble with the Robert Parrish pick and roll. Gamble takes it all the way, goes to the left hand, and Kevin has 16.
See, they played that poorly, Bob. When you play the pick and roll, you must keep the dribbler out of the middle of the floor. Whether you go under the screen or whether you trap the man.
Indiana turnover, Boston ball. That's Indiana's 8th.
Hey, Gamble's had a nice game tonight, Bob. He's got 16. He's really doing it.
Lewis spotted the opening, takes it down inside and scores.
Yeah, they need a timeout. Bob Hill's calling a time right now. They need it because you're on the road. You do not like to get beaten off the dribble. The baskets are coming so easy, and you do not see the double team guy getting there, the rotator. And look at this. This is just great basketball. They're late getting there, and he's taking it right in your face.
That's a guy who just a couple of years ago was in Manila.
Yes.
The legends of the game. Red Auerbach in the center of your picture as the Celtics have taken a 2-point lead. Eastern Conference headlines, Heat in the playoffs. The good news, they made the playoffs. Bad news, they got to play doubles, and they'll play them tomorrow night. The Cavs' last playoff series win was back in 75-76. We continue our TNT coverage of the playoffs. Heat and Bulls tomorrow night. That game in Chicago Stadium at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, second half of the doubleheader. The Clippers and the Jazz, and that'll be a beauty. We talked about legends. Auerbach, Johnny Most. Larry steals the ball. I can't do it as well as he does. He is a legend here, and whenever he comes into the Garden these days, he still gets the standing O.
Well,
and Bob Cousy.
Well, if we're going to get all the legends, let's get them in one time here, right?
Next, the shot of you, and we're complete.
No, yeah, right, yeah. Let me get the broom quick.
9:13 to go, third quarter. Boston by 2 following the Indiana timeout. Miller pitches to McLeod. That's a 3.
See, that's the advantage of the small unit. We told you at the top. 3 3-point shooters out there. Person, Miller, and McLeod. It really strains your defense.
Bagley on the penetration pass. Williams.
At will. He's only tried it 3 times. He's blown by him all 3 times.
He gets body position and then slides past him, and thus nullifying the speed of Williams. Good penetration and the score from LaSalle Thompson.
Nice ball fake. Parrish went for the block.
McLeod on Lewis. Quick drive into the middle again for Reggie Lewis. And Lewis has 19. Person kicks it out to Williams. Thompson just now getting into the picture. There's that shot Hubie's talking about.
He can make it, you see. And the Chief, that time, he didn't want to go up on him, thinking that he might fake me again and beat me off the dribble. And all big centers do not like to be embarrassed at the top of the circle.
So Thompson, 2 big plays.
Now they're running that screen down inside, which equals a 2-man game right here into a pick and roll.
There it is. Ball got there a little late. Parrish still scored.
That was a great shot. He was bumped. He was double teamed. But that's one of his favorite spots.
Boston by 1. 7:44 to go, third quarter. 9 lead changes in this game. Williams blows by Bagley and is fouled hard by Pinckney. He completed his job there. Second foul on Ed. And he kept Williams from scoring. Let's have a look at tonight's Chevrolet scoreboard. We're talking about the NBA playoffs and Cleveland and New Jersey. Less than 3 minutes to go.
That is not unexpected, okay? Because New Jersey is like Seattle. No one wants to play them because they can beat anyone on any given night.
You and I will head there and have the telecast at 8 o'clock on Saturday night.
Michael Williams, 87% foul shooter, and that is the 4th miss of the night, and they've only shot 11.
Williams, 5 points, 5 assists in this ball game. 67-67, 7:27 to go, third quarter. Bagley's going to try to penetrate again. That's a tough shot. Oh, Bagley has 8. They call him the bag man here in Boston.
See, the people are right. That time Williams came down, and as he changed direction, he forearmed Bagley right in the either throat or the face area, knocked him back. He's having difficulty, and if you think about it, how many times have we seen him get in the lane after the first 5 minutes of the game? Bagley's doing an excellent job.
Gamble has 18.
You have to be careful now if you're Indiana. You've got to come out of here with a good shot. You're only 4 down.
Reggie Miller has never seen a shot he didn't like. He missed that one. Parrish to Bagley.
Nice
the lob
pass.
to Pinckney. John Bagley has become a Celtic. 6-0 run for Boston. 73-67, 6:39 to go in the quarter.
We're going to show you Eddie Pinckney here at this end of the floor. Now watch what happens when this shot goes up. See, he's looking to block out.
Now, as soon as he sees that rebound, he's running for the outside lane. So he is ahead of his defender. And this is what you love about Bagley. See, Bagley is not a selfish player. He is the heart of the team now. All of the players are crediting him with doing such an outstanding job, not only at the defensive end, but he's a true point guard. He's unselfish, and he'll give it up.
And that Cleveland, New Jersey game, 1-point game with 1.5 minutes to go. We'll keep you posted on that one in Cleveland tonight. Miller off the screen. Parrish kept it alive. They'll credit that to Shrimp.
Now, that's one of the few offensive rebounds, and we're going to put that one on the Celtics side anyway. Okay?
Parrish tipped it in. They'll give it to Shrimp. Bagley against Williams. Williams has had his hands full with Bagley tonight. They thought it'd be the other way. Williams with the steal. He leads the team.
Give it up
to Miller.
Oh! Yes, yes. Now, you've got to make that call. See, Reggie Miller's toe is up because he caught him with the foot. He didn't mean to foul him, and you're going to see a great deflection by Michael Williams. Now, right now, Reggie should give it up now. But you see the feet locked right there, Reggie going in. And what's interesting here is no continuation. Holy mackerel.
So they're going to inbound the ball.
Todd Hill isn't even saying a word. Todd Hill's just standing down here not saying a word. I think I would be close to a T about now.
I think so. Boston by 4.
This is what has to happen. Person must start to post up Gamble more.
Jump hook doesn't go. Shrimp couldn't hold it. Parrish to Bagley.
See, once Person goes to that small forward, he's got to become effective.
Gamble with one of his rare misses tonight. Great penetration by Bagley to kick it out to Gamble from the corner.
He won't take that shot. He knows his range, Davis.
There's a man who doesn't know range. It's not in his vocabulary.
Reggie was a throwback. They used to shoot like that in 1935.
Reggie Lewis has 21. Boston by 6, 5:14 to go. Robert Parrish was there to cause Davis to miss. Shrimp out of bounds. Boston ball.
See, that's a rookie mistake. You dunk those. You send those home with authority. There's D. Brown. You know, he's under medication. He's taking it 3 times a day. And what has happened with this virus, he's already lost 8 pounds over the last 2 weeks.
That means he's not going to be able to snap right out of this in terms of his conditioning, even when he does come back. The Chief has 13. 4:50 to go in this quarter. Boston by 8.
It's a critical time right now for these people. Everything is too long of a shot. Now, he hit that one, but they've just missed the 3 previous jump shots.
Reggie Miller with 23 points. Boston leads here by 6 with 4:33 to go in the quarter. And let's join Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
Thank you very much, Bob Neal. We want to bring you bonus coverage here on playoff opening night. 114-111, Cleveland with a 3-point lead over New Jersey. 1 minute to play at Richfield Coliseum, and the Nets have the ball. There's a threat from the 3-point range to Petrovic. Let's turn it over to Denny Schreiner and Jim Jones.
Cavaliers defend. Perry Mills calls for a 22nd time, so the Cavaliers will have a chance to reset their defense. This program is presented by the authority of the Cavs Division, Nationwide Advertising Service Incorporated, and Sports Channel Ohio Associates, and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Cavs Division, Nationwide Advertising Service Incorporated, and Sports Channel Ohio Associates is prohibited.
Less than 20 seconds.
Fastest the entire season. Steal by Hot Rod. Hot Rod heading to the hole, and he'll dunk it home.
Biggest play of the game, Denny. Biggest play of the game.
Bowie tries. Well, he thought about a 3. Blaylock sets up, shoots it, in and out, no good. Battle with a rebound. Battle calls for time. Cavaliers looking to pull one out. And it has not been an easy task this evening. You do it with defense. Hot Rod did it that last trip.
He sure did. And then Battle stuck his head in there on the offense, on the defensive rebound. Everybody stayed home until they got the ball, Denny.
And that's what this game is so crazy. So many things, so many great plays. But here's the biggest play of the game. The steal by Hot Rod, overplaying Bowie. It was a soft pass by Mills. He was able to time it and outrun Bowie for the ball.
40.6 left to go. Hot Rod with 19 points. But man, oh man, that was a huge hoop. Full court pass. Brad Doherty runs it down in the corner. Out to Nance. Cavaliers, all they want to do now is find a spot on the floor, and John Battle heads to the line courtesy of Mookie Blaylock.
Well, you're looking at the second best free throw shooting in the NBA, Denny, and the second by only .03. Celtics at 808, Cavs at 805. And one of the reasons was not only Mark Price, but the ability of this man, John Battle, to shoot in the 80s also.
Cavs have hit 17 of 17 in the fourth quarter, 35 of 41 from the line.
They've been doing this all season. Denny, we've seen in playoffs past where this team has had opportunities on the free throw line and did not cash in. This is the impact of good free throw shooters, the result of defense on their part and frustration by the Knicks.
Timeout on the floor, 34.5 left to go, 118-111, Cavs by 7.
That is bonus coverage here on TNT. It would appear the Cavs are going to survive a serious scare from the Nets in Game 1 of that series. Meantime, Boston and Indiana, a 3-point game. Let's get back to Boston Garden to Bob Neal and Hubie Brown.
Thanks, Ernie. You just heard it. 118-111, Cavs leading with about a half a minute to go in that ball game. Here, the Pacers making a run with defense and steals and sloppy Boston ball handling, pulled to within 3, and now it's 79-76 Boston, 3:42 to go in the third quarter. Vern Fleming has been a real spark plug defensively since he came into the ball game. That's the third consecutive Celtics turnover.
They're being very aggressive, and they're doing an excellent job at fronting people who are trying to receive the pass.
They isolate Shrek. He's so strong once he gets inside, and remember, he's 6'9", 6'10".
He has a lot of patience, Bob. He'll exhaust you with head fakes and ball fakes. He's always under control down inside.
Indiana on a 7-0 run. They're within 1 point. Lewis. Indiana can take the lead. Boston had led by 8.
So the people are all game long here want the walks, the travels. But what happens is they pass before they land that foot in order for it to be called a travel.
Some offensive confusion here. Bob Hill shouting in play instructions. They isolate Miller, and Pinckney really slammed him after he missed that. McHale saves it. Boston up by 1. Bagley with the penetration and the nice interior pass, and Pinckney will go to the free throw line.
The Indiana thinks right now that they should have had a jump ball. You know, Pinckney received the pass, made a very nice move. And anytime that you have people trying to post up in front of the basket in the paint, you've got to front that guy.
Here's a story of tonight's game. The Pacers, as surprising nobody, 6 of 9 from three-point range. Second chance points. Celtics, we pointed that out earlier, have been really the story there. And the field goal percentage, Indiana's way by 1 point, but the other part of the story is Boston's offensive rebounding.
Right now, Parrish is out for a breather. Fox is in. So you have Fox and McHale and Pinckney up front. Eddie's been solid all year. Very unselfish player, leads the Celtics in offensive rebounding with almost 4 a game, and he's a good defensive stopper for them.
Celtics by 3, 2:24 to go in the third quarter. There's Bagley again. What a great defensive position player he is. McLeod with about 4 moves, finally fouled by Rick Fox.
He got chested. He was chested about 4 times. See, what's happening now is the Boston fans are starting to enter the game to try to change the officiating. So they are not happy with any call that's going against the Celtics.
Indiana struggling at the free throw line tonight. Second best free throw shooting team. And they can't knock them down. They are only 10 of 15 so far.
McLeod gets one of these. Updating you again on that Cavaliers-New Jersey game. Only 20 seconds left. It's 121-113. Cleveland leading New Jersey.
Two-man right here with McHale posting.
The turnaround. Not this time. Big rebound by Fox. He wanted the three.
Great defense. Shot block that time by Davis.
McLeod cans the triple. That's 7 for 10, Indiana from three-point range, and they've taken the lead by 1.
We hope that we prepared you for this at the top of the show and all throughout that first quarter. As the game wears on, you get fatigued, and you start trying to cheat defensively on that coverage in the corners.
There's McHale's diagonal pass. Bagley hits Fox, and the Celtics have gone cold.
The Indiana must continue to push the ball.
Not this time, Pinckney. Big board. Bagley. McLeod called for the foul. That's 3.
See a reach in that time. That's the third time. Now keep an eye here now. What's happening? Reggie Miller, because he's so effective, draws the double team. They just run for that three-point shot. If you cannot get out in front for a layup, they're looking for the three. Now you see Indiana, they've attempted 11.5 a game. That is a ton of threes.
Boston, you used to be up there when Bird and Ames were shooting a lot, but now 27. Lewis on the fadeaway. And Reggie has 25. Boston has regained the lead.
Reggie can take over this game anytime he wants to in this matchup. He is wearing McLeod out, whether he posts him or whether he takes him off the dribble.
Shrimp from long range, a 19-footer.
Well, they need him to get cooking. They need his offense because that will spur him on to rebound and really do a good job in the lane.
And the Celtics are going to keep going to Reggie Lewis against McLeod. This time into the paint and draws the foul. And we have the final on the Cleveland-New Jersey game. A 7-point Cavs win, 120-113. McLeod now with 4 personal fouls.
Now here's Lewis posting up, see. And you're going to see how he just takes him in the middle, and he's been shooting up over the top of him all night long. I'm kind of surprised. They're almost the same height. Lewis is 6'7", McLeod is 6'8", but McLeod is getting nowhere near the shot on the release.
Reggie Lewis with 26. Person gets into the game, and McLeod sits down with his 4 personal fouls. Chuck Person has only 7 points in this ballgame tonight.
Oh, he's been very quiet, and so has Shrimp.
Fleming, hard to the hoop. Lewis was there. Nice defensive position again. McHale for the board.
See, Vern is more of an offensive threat as far as the mental approach to the game goes than Williams. Now, they're going with both point guards in there right now to give to give Reggie Miller a breather.
4 on the shot clock. Lewis from long range. He's got 28.
See, they have Fleming on him right now, thinking that he'll do a better job, but he's on fire.
Michael Williams knows he has 2.5 seconds. Bagley near steal. Oh, that's good.
Holy macros.
My, oh my, oh my. This game is tied at 87. That was a triple.
What a shot. Now you're going to see he loses it, and as he picks it up, watch how quick he gets this one off. And the defense right in his face.
Indiana hit a 3 to end the half, and now they hit the triple to end the third quarter.
The threes have kept them in the game, and it has offset the dominance on the boards by the Boston Celtics.
Changes in this game. It's tied at 87. Indiana 8 of 12 on threes. Boston 0 for 1. Indiana clearly staying in the game with their three-point shooting.
Now look at Boston in the first and in the third, coming out of the hopper with over 30 in both. But the Pacers are matching him because of the threes.
Michael Williams got the pick from Shrimp. The dish to Davis, who got pushed. No call. Fleming.
See, Vern Fleming is really an offensive threat, and this is a smart move by Bob Hill. He can rest Reggie Miller, rotate his guys up front, and then still have the offensive thrust with Fleming in the game.
Lewis with 28, defensed by Fleming. Almost stole it.
Good hustle.
Shrimp somehow came up with the ball. Pinckney was there. Great defensive hustle by Pinckney.
Now, you know Indiana's going to continue to run this hard, but I'm really impressed with the Celtics not giving up and conceding layups. They're hustling back, and they're disrupting a lot of gimmies that you would get there in the regular season.
Fox on a power move on the baseline.
Uh-oh, that rim is down. That rim is down. Yep, it's slanted now. You got to pop it up.
Yeah, it takes about 285 pounds of pressure to get that, exactly 285 pounds of pressure to get that rim to come down.
Now, this young man is quite an athlete. See, that's the way to take it to the basket when you see the threat of a shot block. This is the playoffs now. You cannot cry about body contact. You expect it at playoff time.
Tied at 89, 10:49 to go in this ball game. Indiana pushed Boston to 5 games in the first round last year. Michael Williams, the pull-up from 17.
He exhausted that, and he stayed with it. Now, Bagley played him as well as you could, but then he anticipated.
McHale posted against Dale Davis. Backs the rookie in, the up and under, and the foul.
As this series moves on, I expect Davis to get better at guarding McHale. He has never had to play him when he had so much flexibility in that ankle area. Look at this. See, that was just a great move. Only the long arms of McHale. But Davis will figure this out, and he will play off him because he has the reach and a good explosion off his jump to disrupt the shot.
Kevin McHale, Hubie, we televised that game, Doug Collins and I, last week, Boston at Detroit, talked to Kevin after that ball game, and you could see the fire back in his eyes because he's feeling better. He's physically capable of playing, and all year long, he really hasn't been there.
Well, you know, for a guy who is 56% field goal shooter, he was in the high 40s for most of the time, plus he could not use all of his moves.
Bagley goes to the floor, down to Shrimp. Fox trying to guard him.
See, now Indiana must look at this. This is a mismatch. No way can Fox play Shrimp. Whether they use Shrimp cutting from the opposite wing or they run him down inside on the post. And every time he's in there, the Indiana perimeter guys have got to see and distribute the ball because it will immediately get a double team and they'll open up.
13.7 rebounds for Detlef Shrimp. He is simply a matchup dilemma for everybody. But what does Boston do?
Well, no, you always play to your strength and then hope that you're going to get maximum execution and that you will put pressure on him at the other end. You're not going to stop him. He's too fine of a player. And if you notice, he doesn't get in foul trouble, you know, as active as he is.
Trying to post McHale. Lewis backing out of there. Davis arm locking him. McHale gets it anyway. There's the return pass to Bagley. Double clutches. Got his own board. Davis took it away from him. Person to Fleming.
The Indiana's got to get the ball out a little bit quicker.
Pinckney with the rebound off the Davis miss. Boston down by 2. Ed Pinckney has 7 boards. Timeout Boston, trailing by 2 with 9:46 to go in this ball game. Dutch boy in the paint as Indiana's living on the threes. Boston living in the paint.
Oh, it's a definite story of the game, and that's why both of them are in it, and it's neck and neck. And even every time that you think that the Celtics are going to pull away, all of a sudden, boom, boom, they'll either hit 1 or 2 threes. Now, it's going to be interesting to see when they are going to come back with Reggie Miller. Now, I know that he is only 2 for 6 here in the second half, but, you know, you cannot let it go too far. Maybe they're waiting for around the 8-minute mark. Right now,
Davis.
The defense, they've got to make a big decision here. Bob Hill, how are they going to play Kevin McHale? Because they're going to him every time down the floor to force the double teaming, and then they're doing it through movement, which is interesting.
It's Shrimp and Davis, Person, Fleming, and Michael Williams on the floor for the Indiana Pacers. Gamble, Sherman Douglas, Reggie Lewis, Robert Parrish, and McHale for Boston. 9:46 to go. Celtics trail by 2.
Screen across the lane from McHale.
Now they got Shrimp on him this time. There's the double team. Lewis sees the opening.
That's what we said early. Anytime they double team and they hit you with a pass, fake the shot and take them off the dribble.
Shrimp steps up for the 19-footer and drains it.
Oh, he can hit that one. And Kevin was right in his face because Kevin knows that with his long reach, he can give him a little trouble, but he does not want to get beat off the dribble from that far out.
Now back down to McHale inside. He goes for the reverse again.
We're seeing it all.
Spinning around Detlef Schrempf. McHale with 13.
He's showing all the drop moves.
Now Williams on the penetration, and he draws the foul. It was Sherman Douglas who got him.
Now keep an eye on Kevin, and you're going to see now the moves. Now he takes a look, and now as they reverse the ball, watch Reggie Lewis just split right on through. And that's what you have to do against the teams that are trying to rotate below the foul line on you to come out outside. Excellent move.
Reggie Lewis with 31 points in this ballgame. And here's Miller back in at the 9-minute mark.
Vern Fleming did a real solid job.
Person will sit down. McLeod also on the floor for Indiana.
See, Person is a non-factor in this game tonight. He's a non-factor in the points, on the boards, or doing anything defensively.
Williams with both the free throws. 2-point Pacers lead coming up right after this one. We'll go out to Portland. Ron Thulin, Doug Collins will have the Lakers and Blazers for you. We heard Doug Collins talking to Terry Porter at halftime.
Lock at 5.
Parrish over Davis. McHale is fouled by Michael Williams from behind.
Now I'll tell you why they're upset. They are really upset, and they have a right to be, because as that shot hit the rim and went up, watch McHale push his guy out. Now you're going to see it. It's to the left. Now watch what happens. Look, see, he pushes Schrempf right there under the rim, gets it. Now they want a shot block right there, and instead they get a ticky-tacky foul. McHale on the line for 2, and the guy who made the call is the guy who missed the other call.
That could be somewhat irritating. Bob Hill is steaming on the sideline. McHale with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 6 out of 6 at the line, 7 out of 7. And it's tied at 97. Miller wanted to curl. Boston denied it, but Schrempf was left open. Douglas kept it alive.
See, that's what I tried to bring out just about a few minutes ago about Schrempf. See, that time when he missed and he picked up that ball out at the 3-point line, Kevin said, I'm coming at you. Detlef gave him the eye fake and just takes him off the dribble. He is so quick at 6'10", handles like a point guard, and like everyone says, he could really play every position in the NBA.
17 points, 8 rebounds for Schrempf. That was the 3rd personal on Kevin McHale. Lewis with the rebound. 8:21 to go in the game. Indiana by 1.
What you have to do now, you're in the closing, you've got to change your defensive looks.
Blocked big by Dale Davis.
That was close, Bob.
To a goaltender.
Yes.
Now Douglas on the penetration. Throws up a prayer.
Smoke.
You only get those prayers answered when you're playing at Boston Garden.
They ought to check that backboard to see if it shattered a little in the box area.
Boston by 1. McLeod on the spin move. There's the double team, leaving Williams open. Michael Williams now with 14.
See, Indiana's doing a nice job anytime that the Celtics double team in the reversing of the basketball, and they're finding the free people.
Gamble's been quiet of late. He draws the double team. They reverse it to Reggie Lewis. Gamble, big board, back to Lewis. Missed 2 in a row. McHale, they finally get him for the loose ball foul.
Schrempf looked at that referee right there and he said, it's about time. He said, about time.
4 fouls on McHale. Along with Hubie Brown, Bob Neal with you from Boston Garden. First rounds of the playoff in the Eastern Conference. 2nd seed Boston, 7th seed Indiana. Larry Bird out because of the back injury. D. Brown also not playing for Boston tonight. He's out with a viral infection in the sinuses. Miller on the drive and the reverse falls, and it's 102-99. Boston by 3.
And you know what happened? As Lewis I mean, as Miller laid that up, he crashed into Davis. Davis's left arm is dead, and he's coming over here now. He's really in a lot of pain. Now you're going to see this here now. Now we're a little too high on that replay. Got it.
Pacers up by 3. Now watch number 20 Douglas and 32 Davis wrap up their arms, and it's the left arm of Davis that gets caught in that, and there you see the pain. As he left the floor, he was hurting. He's back out here right now, still clenching that fist. Indiana matches their biggest lead of this ball game. It's of 3 points. Celtics have been up by as many as 8.
Well, the Celtics must regroup and give some of that defense that we saw in the third quarter. They need a real shot in the arm from the defensive end of the floor.
Parrish in the paint. He's fouled by Reggie Miller reaching in from behind.
Solid call. Solid call. Reggie definitely raked the Chief. And the Chief playing with tender ankles. You know, he injures them at least once or twice a night, but he just plays right through the pain. It's been the ankles have been a real problem for him during the entire season.
Double-double for the Chief tonight. 14 points, 10 rebounds. 2-point Indiana lead with 6:44 remaining. Cleveland beat New Jersey tonight.
Big thing now for the Celtics. They've got to regroup and play better defense off the dribble, because in this quarter, that's where the breakdown is coming.
McLeod off the pick to Michael Williams. Wasn't ready for that shot. Shrimp plays there big. Look at him handle the ball. 20 seconds on the shot clock as they reset it.
He saw Gamble at him.
Missed it with his left hand. Parrish with the rebound. That's his 11th. Boston can regain the lead on this possession.
Now everything has been going well for you off of these little screens on both sides of the floor.
The steal from Michael Williams. He'll be all alone.
You can't fall asleep. Michael Williams, second in the league in steals. Battled Stockton for this all year. Last year, right there, 1 or 2 all season. You cannot fall asleep with the ball at the top of the circle.
Averages just under 3 steals a game. Douglas all the way, misses the layup, but there's Parrish for the stick back. Big bucket by Robert Parrish.
Delay a game. Delay a game. See, Boston does not want to score here now in this last 5:33 to go and then have them inbound and beat them down the floor. So they're trying to deflect the ball as much as possible as it comes through the net.
So that was a warning on Boston. Indiana by 1, 5:28 remaining. Miller held on the drive by Reggie Lewis. That'll be his 3rd.
We're going to show you the steal at the top of the circle. See, he gets a hand in there and just beats Douglas to the ball. See, on the next possession, Douglas passed up Kevin McHale, posting up, tried to take his guy off the dribble. When you play playoff basketball, you cannot get in these one-on-one confrontations. You got to stay within the offense and run what the coaching staff is looking for.
Sherman Douglas trying to buy time for John Bagley, who will be back in here for crunch time for Boston.
Well, this young man has had some season. He averages right at 21, shoots 50 from the field, and only 86 on the line. That's all.
And 29 points tonight.
And 38 in threes. That's all. He's a nightmare to cover.
Indiana by 3. That matches their biggest lead of the game. 10 to shoot for Boston.
Illegal. Good call. You cannot double team a postman if he does not have the ball. And Bob Hill, we knew right away. And we're going to show that right here for you. And you're going to see that there is no one. They have 2 guys here and 2 men playing the post player.
Which is one way to keep Parrish from getting the ball.
Here's a clear out on Person.
The double team. Nice pass.
You can't double team, Bob, if the guy isn't going anywhere, because the Celtics are looking to make that diagonal pass. They've been wearing him out on that pass all night.
Williams pulls up short.
Bad shot.
Sherman Douglas is going to hold up and wait for McHale to rejoin here.
There you go. Go to your strength. Gamble having a good game. Cut through.
McHale from 18. And the Celtics regain the lead with 4:20 remaining. Timeout, Indiana.
To show you what happens when Indiana comes back in here and double teams the post guy. Now watch out. See, they take the cutter back to the postman, then they double team. Now the area that is hurting them is not here. The area right here is where the Celtics are killing them. Now there's your first pass out. They catch him in the rotation. That opens up, and they've been hitting this shot right from here all night long.
And the Celtics have regained the lead by 1. This is how close the playoffs were last year. They were 118 each, and Boston won by 3 in the last game when Person missed a 3.
It was just a fabulous series. Everyone played, to their fullest potential, and we're off to a great one right now. This is excellent basketball. Both teams playing to their strength.
Regular season, the teams both won at home, 2-2.
Now an advantage for Indiana right now. Boston is in the penalty on fouls.
Indiana has that foul to give you.
Good job. Good job.
8 on the shot clock. Shrimp trying to create something. Miller, 5 seconds. Shoots it from 28 feet. Rebound, Gamble.
Great defense by the Celtics. Kevin McHale was all over that pick and roll.
Boston by 1. Lewis off the curl.
How about the enthusiasm, huh?
The foul is on Williams, his 3rd.
See, this building appreciates great defense, but then they really erupt when you execute at the other end. That's a pet play. Reggie Lewis on a curl.
3-point opportunity, 34 points for Reggie Lewis tonight. Boston to a 4-point lead. They had trailed by 3 only 2 minutes ago.
Clear out for Miller.
Lewis stops him. They go back to him, 10 to shoot.
Oh, he got muscled on that. You got to go off the dribble, Person.
Now they've got the switch. Chuck over Lewis. McHale tips it to Gamble. Boston on a 7-0 run, last 2 minutes, 40 seconds.
See, you've got to play through the bumps because you're not going to get the call. It's playoff time and you're on the road.
McHale gets muscled by Shrimp and they call him for the foul.
And they're shooting the penalty.
2 on Detlef. Well, Red has seen it before, as has Larry.
See, they know right now, the bench, everyone is into this. They realize that the defense is coming to it. Now remember, the Celtics have won 17 straight games at home. They have won 15 of their last 16. The only team to beat them, Indiana at Indiana.
And this would be another boost in the confidence of the Celtics without Larry Legend.
Absolutely.
19 points, 6 rebounds for McHale.
You have to regroup right now. You have 3 minutes, and Indiana cannot continue to stay out here on the perimeter. They've got to get the ball up further. Celtics are doing a good job defensively.
Michael Williams gets mugged on the drive. Boston leads by 6, 2:51 to go.
Now, see, that's the first time they've penetrated, Bob. The Celtics in the last 3 stops they've been switching on any kind of screening outside. That's the first time that they have penetrated down in. I would like to see Indiana get the ball up on the wings below the foul line and go to some of that offside cutting that was so good to them in the first quarter.
McHale just picked up his 5th personal foul with 2:51 to go. He's played with 5 many, many times before, however. Kevin's always said, I get 6, I use them.
You ride your horses to the end. Kevin is one of your better defenders.
Celtics by 4. That stopped a 3-minute Indiana scoring drought and ended a 9-0 Boston run.
This group for the Celtics doing an excellent job. The threat down inside of McHale and Patterson and Reggie Lewis just really hurting Indiana every time that they flub. They make a mistake.
7 on the shot clock. Bagley looking for something on the baseline.
Nice
Hands it to Parrish, who missed the lay-in, but follows his shot.
What a great pass.
Shrimp back, so quickly. McHale was there to change the shot. Shrimp followed, Parrish rebound.
Shrimp took it strong both times, but give the Celtics the due. The threat of the shot block of Parrish and McHale made him change the shot.
14 rebounds for Robert. Nice move by Lewis to save a near Boston turnover. They have 8 on the shot clock.
See, right now, Chris Ford is helping Indiana right now. He knows that he wants to regroup offensively, but you see, right now, Indiana has 2 fulls and a 20, and you cannot let it get away from you from an offensive standpoint. Right now, Indiana is down 6, okay? And you know that they've got to get a good defensive stop right now. Excellent move by Chris Force because he's exhausting his offensive set plays right now. Watch this pass. This is a great pass. Now, even though the Chief leaves it short, presence of mind, go back and get it.
Boston held their timeout huddle at midcourt.
Don't you love Bagley? See, Bagley, he's a beautiful point guard to watch because once he gets down inside, you've got to guard him because he can score. But he's thinking, set up the big guys first.
And remember, Indiana made their run and regained that 3-point lead when Bagley was on the bench. He's also done a whale of a job defensively tonight. The pull-up jumper from Bagley. Not this time. Air ball. 2 on the shot clock. If you wonder why he shot so quickly, it's because that ball was inbounded with only 8.
Right. Plus, Dale Davis switched out on that and was right in his face.
If that's on McHale, he'll sit down.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what happened on that. Michael Williams started to go down in there and was going to make a pass. Oh, they call it the other way?
Oh, my.
Oh, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. See, Michael Williams left his feet going to pass the ball. Now, just watch this. He's going to try to pass it down to the box. And what happened is once they took away that passing angle, and now you can see they call a loose ball foul. Wow.
32, of course, they're both 32. McHale thought he had fouled out of the game. He was headed over to the bench. 19.6 rebounds for Kevin. So Dale Davis gets called for the foul, and Davis has 3 fouls.
That was a very, very costly play. Now, you're Indiana. You just took the timeout. When you come out of this, you will have 1 full and 1 20-second left.
And some great 3-point shooters. Cotton Fitzsimmons retired today as head coach of the Phoenix Suns. He'll remain as director of player personnel. Paul Westphal will take over after the playoffs are over. And the Clippers are in the playoffs for the first time since the mid-'70s. Coming up right after this one, Ron Thulin, Doug Collins standing by in Portland. Lakers and Blazers. And here's a look at that call again.
Now, you see, he left his feet looking for the pass. But what happens now, you're going to see Davis is going to push off on Parrish. It's hardly any kind of a flagrant or any kind of a hard contact. Now, you say, why is that a big play? If they give that to Davis or a non-call, all right, you're in a 6-point game. Maybe you're shooting the 1-and-1, and instead of it being 4, all of a sudden it's 8. Now, do you come out here now with 147 and launch a 3? You only launch a 3 if you're wide open. You've got to continue to go to the basket. You're shooting a penalty on any kind of a foul.
Bagley defending Michael Williams.
Excellent. They switched all around.
Beautiful switch there.
Yes, they don't care. They just switch it.
McHale gets it away from Shrimp. Lewis with the ball. Shrimp has to foul Reggie Lewis. Once again, incredible team defense. And if there's been one reason Boston has made this run at the end of the season, it's been their defense.
Yeah, you're going to see it right here. Now, they've switched right along. That ball just came right out of Shrimp's hands. But you give the Celtics credit. Their coaching staff has done an excellent job, and they're saying this. Anytime they're in 3-point situations, we don't care. On every ball cross, switch. Don't worry about the mismatches because they're going to force the 3s.
Chris Ford, what a job he's done. You have to say he's a candidate for Coach of the Year.
And this guy right here, what a job he has done.
Helping Chris Ford.
Only 36.
6 of 7, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Boston 24 of 26 at the line tonight. 118-108, Boston by 10. That's their biggest lead of the game, by the way, with 1:28 remaining.
See, I was kind of surprised that they went for the three that early.
And, you know, because we all know that if you dribble into the painted area and you force the defense to collapse, if you don't go to the basket, you can still kick it back out and get an uncontested three. By trying to get the three outside now, the defense does not have to move, and they're just playing you tight and they're right in your chest.
Indiana's really suffered at the line tonight. They've missed 7 free throws.
And we said the reason why we underline that is because they're second in the league, right behind the Boston Celtics in free throw shooting.
Bagley, bothered by the double team, gives it up to Shrimp. That's a quick 2. And now it is a 7-point Boston lead with 1:19 to go.
There's still 1:19 to go. You see, that's why we're trying to back up the strong statement of saying why go for the three that early.
Gamble using the clock.
Sure,
10,
smart.
9 and counting.
Big thing now is Indiana's got to dig in.
Bagley's open with 4 on the shot clock. Shrimp for the rebound. Under a minute to go in this ball game.
This is the big possession.
And Shrimp does what we talked about early. He can get the board and take it all the way, and all of a sudden it's a 5-point game.
See, the Celtics must stay aggressive. They cannot just be passive and just try to continue to run time.
Well, that's what they're doing, and Williams fouls Bagley. He'll go to the line with 40 seconds to go in the game, and the Celtics leading by 5.
See, what happens when you run time is now at the defensive end, it's an extension. You kind of open up, you do not play aggressive, and then what happens? They take it to the rim, and they score quickly, and no time is going off the clock at the other end. And that happens so many times at all levels of play when you play keep away at the other end.
40 seconds to go in the ball game. Celtics lead it by 5 points, as Hubie was pointing out when we went away there at the timeout. The Boston Celtics kind of started running clock a little bit, and as they've done that, they've softened defensively and given Indiana a chance to get back in here with the great 3-point shooters.
Yeah, you just don't like to lose your momentum. But, you know, that 7-0 run, and it was all caused by the great Boston defense. They did a terrific job. But then again, Indiana stayed perimeter, and you can't do that when you're on the road. You got to get down inside. Now, you look at the situation right here. The Pacers only have a 20, so you know that they cannot advance the ball anymore to half court after a timeout.
John Bagley at the line, 8 points, 8 assists tonight. Indiana led 106-103 with 5.5 minutes to go. Boston now up by 6 with 40 seconds.
But this is the type of game we expected, and we're seeing it. We're seeing excellent defense by the Celtics, and now for the people who have not seen them in the last period of time since March 17th, then you have not seen them play this good defensively.
Boston by 7. Beautiful play by Reggie Lewis, who has done it all tonight.
Oh, he has. He has been so active.
36 points. He's done a whale of a defensive job on Reggie Miller.
And you know, Kevin McHale has been all over the place here on these 3-point shooters.
McHale got away with a push on Person. The foul on Shrimp with 26.9 remaining. And Boston, if they knock these down, can put it away.
See, I want to bring out the point about Kevin McHale again. Kevin McHale is staying out at the top on these 3-point shooters. And as they're coming off these screens at 6'11" with the long arms, he is making them shoot over the top of them. And if you notice, those shots aren't even hitting the front of the rim on the misses. They're hitting off to the side, to either side. They're not even close to going in.
Well, John Bagley has become the Boston point guard, no question about it. D. Brown out with sinusitis, and they certainly miss him with the viral infection. And it'll be probably a few days before he'll be back, because D. Brown lost 8 pounds. The line drive 3-point attempt by Williams goes awry, and with 18.9, Person commits the foul. And the first win without Larry Bird in the Larry Bird era in the playoffs for Boston. Boston went 8-0 down the stretch without Larry, and as they've said throughout the team, they are learning to play without always looking for this man. And if he's such a great player that he's been, that's what you're going to do.
Well, you know, during the course of the year, when Larry went out the first time, they went 12-17. And then he came back and played, and then when he went out this time, they go 8-0. So they're 20-17 this year without Larry. Now, I'm happy right now for this guy right here. Last year, he had surgery, sat out the full season, came to camp this year. Everyone had written him off. They were talking Shaw, D. Brown. They were talking everybody else at his position, even Ricky Green. Goodbye, John Bagley. And then he lost the weight, came into camp, won a job, and has just been sensational.
And remember, when Sherman Douglas joined the team, Bagley sat down, didn't play at all for a while.
And didn't say a word. And he was playing at the top of his game because they had to see if Douglas and D. Brown could do the job. And then as now with D. Brown getting the virus, Bagley has stepped forward.
Boston's first playoffs win without Larry Bird, 124-113. And Reggie Lewis stepped up as he has so many times this year for the Boston Celtics. As did Kevin McHale. Joe Klein gave him some pretty good minutes. And the Boston Celtics take a 1-0 lead here over the Indiana Pacers in the first round playoff here in the East. And it's an indication of the high-octane offense we're going to see in this series when you look at the score, 124-113. We talked about Reggie Lewis stepping up here tonight. Not only did Reggie knock down 36 points, but Reggie played some great defense tonight on Reggie Miller. First of all, talk about matching up as you had to do tonight with this Indiana high-octane team.
Well, we felt in order for us to win the ball game tonight that we had to get back in transition. Michael Williams do an excellent job at pushing the ball up the floor, and we just had to make sure that we try to contain him because he likes to throw the defense in and then kick it out to Chuck and Reggie on the wing for the threes. And they were killing us early on with the threes, but we were able to just pick our intensity up in the second half and just dig deep down inside and play some defense down the end.
Now, this is your first win, Boston's first win in the playoff without Larry Bird. How about the adjustment for this team playing without Larry? What do you go through? What do you talk about?
Well, we just talk about playing defense. We know the only way we're going to win is we have to do it defensively, and we have to do it for 48 minutes because we don't have that scoring power that Larry adds to the team, and also his passing and rebounding. That's something that we desperately miss, but we just make up for it in other areas by just playing solid team defense.
Reg, in the last 6 weeks, the defense has really stepped up, probably the best that they've seen here in years and years. Why?
Well, first of all, everybody's taking it upon themselves to do it individually, and then we're just giving good team help. Whenever somebody's beating baseline or to the middle, Kevin, Robert Parrish, Pickney, they're doing an excellent job at clogging the middle up for us.
Now, yourself tonight, you had such a great offensive game. You know, you came in here tonight. When you came to the arena tonight, you have a big matchup with Miller, all right? And then you're saying to yourself, you know, do I have to score a lot of points tonight? Do I just stay within the offense? How do you approach a game like this?
Well, I see how the game is going. I see who's involved offensively, and I just try to pick my areas where it's needed at. Tonight it was needed offensively and also defensively because they were doing an excellent job at double teaming our big guys down low, and it was giving us the shots on the perimeter.
Well, Reggie Lewis goes one up in the battle of the Reggies, and the Celtics go one up in the battle of the Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment from Boston Garden, where the Celtics take a 1-0 lead over the Pacers. Boston takes a 1-0 lead, 124-113. Our Budweiser player of the game, surprising nobody, Reggie Lewis, 36 points, 14 in the third quarter, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and a whale of a defensive job on Reggie Miller. Be sure to stay with TNT now. As NBA action continues next, the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Portland Trail Blazers. For Hubie Brown, this is Bob Neal saying good night from Boston.